Hello, Geoff. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. Now,
Yes.
welcome back to this YouTube channel. Today we have the pleasure to speak with Geoff Mealing. Mealing, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a slightly interview from all the other ones, but this channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We are near 1,000 subscribers and we are raising awareness for forced adoption with the goal, obviously, to bring all our children back, and we need the society help for that. Geoff, welcome to this channel, and thank you so much for accepting this invitation.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Geoff, your story, you are coming in here slightly for different reasons from all the other mothers and fathers that I have interviewed so far. So I must ask you, have you lost any children for social services?
I haven't, no.
You haven't, right. I sent you an invitation for this to be in here because I saw you on the latest protest in London Bridge.
Yeah.
And I found your participation amazing. You were very vocal, and that's why I'm very glad that you accepted the invitation. Now, Geoff, why are you so vocal, and why are you empathic with all the parents that had lost children?
Well, I mean, I have lost children, as you know. I've got two boys in my own, well, they're adults now, and I've got a granddaughter. So that aside as well, we're doing these outreaches and marches that we do last Saturday in each month, plus on local level as well. It's drawn the attention that the people that are with us and within our group have lost children through the social services and the adoption process, or the forced adoption, I should say. And it brings you closer to know that how much people are suffering, and when they're speaking, you can hear that in their voice, and it's just awful. I feel the need, along with other topics I discuss about children, to be there for them and for everybody to speak out about the harm that is going on, that destroys families, that social services destroys families by removing children from good families, or even a good mum or a good dad, and when they just want to sell them on to make money. It's totally different now to how it used to be, the adoption process, because really it is a massive money-making scheme.
Okay, Geoff. So thank you so much for being empathic with me and all the other parents, because the majority of the people, when we say what happened to us, they don't know, they never heard, they doubt about us, and there is a feeling that your problem is your problem, is none of my issue, and you probably have done something wrong. So the way you deal with this is completely different. So how have you come across this reality? How have you learned about this?
Well, when I first started out going going to marches, in 2021 it was, you know what I mean? A lot of them were controlled initially. And then we kind of done stuff on a local level, speaking out, and then it got to a point where we formed our own group. We decided to solely base it on the children, because there's lots of issues, as well as obviously forced adoption, which is massive. There's other issues as well as regarding children, and we felt, and the more and more people teamed up with us and came to us on our outreaches, there was more people I was noticing that had issues where the children was taken off from them, or they had satanic ritual abuse, where their family had put them forward to it, and things like that, you see. So it got even more heartbreaking to hear the stories. It really did. So I felt the need to keep on, because we formed our own group, Save Our Children Army, and keep on going to these outreaches that we do and exposing all the evil that goes on within this world. Because at the end of the day, paedophilia is ruling our world. There's so many in all walks of life. The list is endless, through Vatican, through the military, to schools, to the list is endless. the Hollywood, as they call it, and more. All the governments are in on it, all the force. Everyone's in on it and just making money from our children, really. At the end of the day. I always say our children because it is all of our children. It's not my children, your children, it's our children, it's everybody's, really. So, and I think it's important this message gets out. Because, like you say, people are like, well, mine are all right. Mine aren't getting taught out of school. Things aren't happening to mine. But it's others. It's not just about yourself. It's about everybody, and that's why I'm very empathic about doing this. And I feel that I need to do it. It's what I'm here to do, and that's why I do what I do.
Yeah. Would you like to share the name of the group that you are on, or that you are the administrator of the group?
Yeah. It's called Save Our Children Army. That's what it is. Save Our Children Army. We have an outreach tomorrow in London. We meet in London, Victoria. So, and we will go around to several places and expose all what is going on with forced adoption. And the thing about it is, the fact of the matter is, when you talk about this, when I talk about things, I know hands-on it's real, and with everything, with evidence. But because of the people I'm with, they're talking about their children that they've lost, they're fighting still in the system, So, I can't talk about what I'm doing, and certain people can't say. I mean, not that I've had anyone, in fairness, but someone can't say, "Well, Geoff, you're talking rubbish." You can't say that because I've got the people here to witness, and I've seen firsthand how it is. And,
so, if someone wants to join the group, or if someone wants to join the movement, how can they reach you? In which platforms are you at the moment?
Well, at the moment I'm on Facebook.
Yeah.
And also Kieran, we set this group up, but we're also on Telegram as well.
Yeah.
I'm
TikTok?
on Twitter. Sorry?
Are you on TikTok?
No, I was, but I keep getting banned. They don't like me, so they just, So I've stopped doing that one. But what I am going to do, I will say, because we spoke about this, our group, because when I was away this week in Wales, a friend of mine who goes there, a friend of hers, does websites. So she's going to be in contact with me. We're going to set up a website. So I shall, let everyone know that out there. So
you're not dependent on these platforms. Sometimes they don't like the truth. Yeah. It's always better. But don't do weeks because they can shut you down if the government wants that. So you have to do it in a smart way so you don't get deleted. Right. Yeah. So. You are saying that tomorrow there is happening something. Would you like to repeat that, please?
Yeah, we are in Save Our Children Army is in London tomorrow, and we're meeting at 12 p.m. at London, Victoria.
Okay, so tomorrow is the
31st, last day of the month. 31st of August.
31st of August, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
12 p.m.
How big is your group at the moment?
Well, at the moment, it's not massive at all, in fairness, because we were in we were together in another group, and that got a little bit fractured for one of whatever happened. But so we're probably around 30 or 40 people, so it's not massive amounts, but
they are good.
I mean, whether people we do say people come and join, we're getting people coming and join. And to be fair, since we started this year, the actual social media side of things, or the reactions and interaction we have on social media, has picked up massively.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we have got our own, which I wanted to say as well, which you didn't say, our own. It's on Facebook if people put Save Our Children Army in, there is a group there that they can find out all information. They can be added on as members. So. So we're growing in numbers, and even if the numbers don't get massive, we're out there standing in front and exposing all what's going on, even at the Masonic halls and everything. You know what I mean? So we're not afraid to get out there in front and tell people what's going on.
So the last time when I saw that there was a protest for the parents, people that were joining together. And I didn't have much information. I didn't know who was organizing, and sometimes it's not good even to share who is organizing. What's important is that the things that are happening. So Leon at the moment was in London, and he did say that he was going to there. So it's always good, obviously, for our children, for our baby Santiago, to have a voice as well. But he did not know that you went to the London Bridge. So somehow he did not know about that. He did not know who was going in there. And when I saw you guys that you were in the London Bridge and you were able to close the London Bridge, I was like amazed, because that's amazing what you have done. It's fantastic, because it is only in that way that we can really call attention to this issue. And I believe that you were able to make many people aware by the tourists that they were walking in there. And, and it was amazing that when the police came, you just start walking and nothing was happening, and it was all good.
Yeah, we keep it peaceful, you see, because at the end of the day, we're there to give a message out. And the thing was about it, that apart from the bikers who wanted to get through, got a little bit disgruntled, the people that were in the cars waiting, no one was tooting, no one was angry. They were listening to what we were saying, which was great. And then obviously when the police came, we just moved on. We didn't argue with them, we didn't do anything, we just carried on. They actually followed us down to the Tower of London. Even our guy, Orangi Latif, he's done so much about the social service. I don't know whether you've got him on Facebook.
He has been in here already.
Oh, fantastic. Then I thought, But he had his car or his van, which obviously blocked it off. We went down to the Tower of London, and where we parked, we weren't allowed to park, but he just unplugged a few things in his car, said he was his van, that he was trying to fix it. And the police just stayed there and then listened to what we had to talk about, and there was no animosity. So
Did any police members spoke with you, like in privately, saying, like, I know what you're going through, well done? Has anyone gave you the support kind of thing?
Some of the police are supportive like that. They do realise, and some of them just like to keep a little bit distance. But the ones that do want to talk and learn, we're civil too. You know what I mean? So, it's just it was that particular day was a great day, and I think it's right when you're saying if you do think that are very impactful, like that holding Tower Bridge hostage, and it makes them people are like, oh, what's happening here? So it gets people more interested, and it did from that point. We have had, like I said, more people interaction on the social media, more messages coming through a messenger and that kind of thing. Not everyone can get down to the London, which we do appreciate, but at the same time, they're there with us in spirit, if you know what I mean. So, which is very good, and they share our posts, and which is fantastic.
And it was not planned to stop the London Bridge, correct? It was not planned. The things that just happened, there was just a chance that you grabbed and you did it, and that's amazing, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. So
how many of you were in there? I think I at least, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 people in there.
Yeah, I think it was close to 30 actually, because you probably didn't see some of them behind the camera that was being filmed. So so we had enough there to stop them, so which was good. Orangi, the thief's van.
Yeah, I was buzzing on the other side because it was amazing, because you were speaking and the other guys, they were recording you, and then suddenly you start to hear the noise. The police was coming, and they were like, let's go, and I think it was amazing.
The thing about it,
brilliant.
Sorry, the thing about it, with the police being there, the action and the siren, it adds, although, we don't want no trouble anyone with the police or anything with people, but it adds to what we're doing, because it then gets people to look at your posts and think, hang on, all the police are involved now, let's have a little go, let's see what happens. So it attracts more people looking into what we're talking about and what is happening, which is the great thing that we need to do.
Okay, so let me do this question as well. Are you afraid that somehow the system can punish you for giving face to what is happening? Or did you...
Go on.
Are you not afraid that because you were in the London Bridge and you are in videos that you not get targeted? Do you have small children at home? Like, is it not...
I don't have any children at home. Mine have left home. They don't live with me in the area that I live in. And I don't post anything out on social media. So, because I'm very, close. Everything to do with me, people can find out and know or whatever, no issue. But I don't put anything on social media with my family and that. You know what I mean? So, because I don't want anyone to know anything, if you know what I mean. I may talk about it when I'm saying about children, but other than that, no pictures, no nothing, you know what I mean? I think the last picture I done, that was very rare, was years and years ago, but ideally as a rule I don't put anything out there.
Yeah. So, Geoff, is what is going on with the children then? It's why. So first of all, people, they will think no, they social service, they don't remove children just like that to families. That's because they have done something wrong. And if the courts they are involved, they just don't take children like that. I have to give an excuse. So and when I say to people, no, they use future emotional risk. That's what they use. Like how and why do you think they have done all of these with children? Why they are doing these to children? Does the society does not protect children?
Society, it seems, doesn't really protect children these days. So, I mean, the problem is the biggest money maker in this world is our children, because they can be sold on 20 or 30 times and make vast amount of money for people, you know, who buy them because they want to abuse them and do awful things to them. So it outstrips any arms, guns, weapons, gold, silver, you name it, alcohol. It outstrips that. It's the biggest moneymaker. And the trouble is all these evil entities and people that are abusing the children, it goes back from thousands of years as well, you know.
So you're talking about pedophilia?
Yeah, that's right. You know, and it's just, they just make so much money from them that it's just constantly abused daily or hourly, the children. You know, it's really not safe for children these days. It probably never has been safe. But because social media brought everything out there where people can actually hear and listen and see what's going on. But it really is something that people need to be aware of, because you know, if you let your child walk ahead of you or whatever, you know, you risk a van pulling up, maybe snatching your child. It's that simple and that quick how they do these things. Supermarkets, swimming pools, whatever, you know, it all is there and for them to take advantage. And because of the way the governments are now, which we know they're puppets and it's not them that are calling the shots, they're allowing this to happen. The sexualization in schools is incredible. The grooming, really, that the teachers do for paedophilia to normalise it is off the scale. I mean, teaching a child sexual explicit content at 3, 4, 5, 6 years old it's just so wrong. But when you tell people that, some people go, don't be silly, they don't teach them like that. They do. What they have. I mean, because I've read a lot and researched a lot. What they tend to do is the ones that they'll teach you a little bit for the child. The ones that are into it and understand it well, they'll teach them more. And that's what they tend to do, you see. They'll put things in, you know, and talk about, you know, the parts of the body when really, you know, they should be doing that at such a young age, because children are, you know, will soak up. The first 7 years of a child's life, they'll soak up so much information that they'll just think sex is the norm.
Okay,
you know?
Geoff, I have shared some of those things and I know exactly what you're talking about. But if someone is listening to this conversation for the first time, they don't know anything about, they could say, okay, Geoff, but is it not good that a teacher is actually teaching to a child with 10 years or 5 years that the boys have a penis and that a girl has a vagina and that the bodies, they are different? What do they do apart from that? Why do you think is wrong?
It really needs to be age appropriate. At such a young age, they don't need to learn things like that. Maybe when they're getting older, you know, they can then start learning things. But because the explicit content is rammed down early, you know, it's just wrong. Because the biggest fear is that I'm walking down the street, yeah, and I hear maybe 2 girls, 2 boys or whatever, talking about sex. They're only 7, 8, 9 years old, saying, "Oh, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, yeah, they came over, and we had sex," and you find out they're 10 or 20 years older than them. And that's my biggest fear. Whereas before, you'd have the laughter, the giggles, all that kind of thing going on, the fighting and all that. The mum would tell them off, and this, that, and the other, and all, you know, or dad, and that kind of thing. When I start some of my outreaches, I sing, you know, the song "Greatest Love of All," don't you? That song.
I don't know.
No. All right. Well, the first part of it goes, "I believe children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier, and let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be." And I do that not all the marches, but I do that. Some of them start off with that because that first bit in the Sun Greatest Love of All is powerful because that's what we need to do to our children. And I want the laughter. Like when we were kids, we all used to play around, you know what I mean, laughing about. But if that's lost when children are walking out because they're trying to force this paedophilia into the schools and what they're doing, as well as the LGBTQ movement, it's going to be lost forever. Yeah. And we're not going to get that. And then society's...
Okay, so Geoff, in my opinion, you're not giving a precise example of how bad it is. But I have seen books that they are allowed in the schools that the image itself is disgusting. It is dirty. It is really disgusting. Is children, little babies in bed with men, and the conversation is like kind of like come to daddy, and is really promiscuous, is completely like nonsense, and people, they need to be awake for this. And I believe it's written on the guidelines to be teach on the schools that the teachers, they must teach to the little boys that it is good for them to touch themselves.
Yeah.
It is so many other things that is completely wrong.
Yeah.
Because the children, they are innocent. They are not supposed. They are not sexual. Children, they're not sexual. They only start to wake up for that when they are probably 14, 15, and it's normal for the bodies when the hormones, they come up, and that's when they start to find out about their bodies and about the other children. But even that process is done inside the groups.
Yeah, that's right.
And it shouldn't have no adult interference. So I don't know if people, they are aware of desexualization and what the teachers, they are really showing in the books, but it's disgusting, and this obviously is done by pedophiles, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It is. I mean, I've bought several of the books, the different ones. You know what I mean? It's perfectly normal, and let's talk about sex and things like that. And you know what I mean? I've taken them at our outreaches and held them up for people to see or read. And it's crying. It's in all the libraries as well, all the information there, you know. And you're right about 14 to 15. Our Save Our Children's Army teamed up with UK Community Awareness Projects, and they do several projects. They take them on, and we try and expose them and trying to change the system. And they had a consultation paper come out a few months ago about the teachings, what's going on in schools, and this, that, and the other. Again, we pushed the angle because we wanted to try and change it around 14 and 15 when they start learning things, you know. And so we filled out the consultation paper and in depth and added links in and different things for what we done, and we left a blank one, and we posted it out for people if they wanted to do that. Now, we're not under the illusion that, by doing this, it's suddenly going to change. Although, possibly what came out of it, not just us, but other people as well, they did say they were changing it to 9 years old, which is still too young. But the full draft of all the information is coming out in the autumn. But we're not under the illusion that they're going to even not, change it or do anything at all with it. But the fact of the matter, it created more awareness of what's going on. So what we're doing as well, we're going to, because we'd already, our Save Our Children's Army already served notice on the Department of Education in London. We're going to revisit that. We're going to also go to the Education Select Committee in the House of Commons, which deal with issues like this and other things which they'll scrutinise. So hopefully we'll get a chance to go down there. If we don't get invited down there, we're going to go down there and see them as well. So we're really forthright on all this to try and make change and make people more aware of what's going on. We know with the government, they do their own thing, but to be seen to be doing, to trying to make change and creating that awareness, it will wake more people up to hope in that they realise there is more than meets the eye of what they thought was going on.
Yeah, and there is people, there is teachers going on podcasts. There is some of the people that I have interviewed in here. They have Kerry. She has been to a podcast. I think he's bald. He's a bald guy. And I think the name is Bolt.
Vobes.
Vobes, yeah. And there was I have seen a teacher in there, and she was actually exposing these, and and I believe that she was punished in the school system. They remove her, or they punish her son some way, something like that. Yeah. So she was saying actually, what the hell they are teaching in the schools. Do you know if there is any changes at the moment? Is any bigger groups doing something to the government to stop that?
Well, like I say, PCP Wales was with this week. They challenged the system there. They went to court, to their parliament in Wales it was, and they went to court there to try and stop what is going on with the sexualisation. And unfortunately, they just lost the case, but it created more awareness, and what it proved as well, that the parents themselves, mums and dads, there's no parental rights. It's only parental responsibility. So, children can still be taken, I mean, it goes deeper about your birth certificate and the straw man, but that's for another podcast. But I mean, the fact of the matter is they can take your children away from you, and this is what they're doing. But the problem is, as we know, and they're taking it away from good families. Really good families, because it's a money maker. I think it works out about. I think if you had social workers, maybe psychotherapists, the judges, solicitors, barristers, whatever, I think it works out around, give or take, $250,000 just for one family that the money's being made, so you can see what is going on here, the corruptness. And the amount of adoption agencies that are open now, since the fact that Tony Blair, when he was in his last sort of stint as Prime Minister in '97, because he got them all opened up and everything else. But there's just thousands upon thousands upon thousands of them now, which and they're run by all these billionaires, these big fat cats, you know what I mean, who just want to make more money, more money. I get information sent to me about the different places that are being, used for these child trafficking and that, from Jane Kelly, she went through hell because she lost her grandchildren in 2019, I think it was, and she told me her story. It's just harrowing that they live abroad now, and it's just
Rishi Sunak. I think it's public that even he has money on the children's home.
Yes. Yeah.
So
that's right.
So there is a lot of people making money when the children, they are being taken from the families.
Yeah, so, that's right.
So what do they need? What's the excuse that, from the cases that you have known, the main excuse that the social services they give to remove children? Is it just future emotional risk of future emotional harm, or is anything else? Who are the target families that you are aware?
I think it's because without going into too much detail, because PCP Wales, they had a case at the beginning of the year where a young couple came to them because when their baby was born, it had a broken collarbone, broken femur, and it had issues there. But they went to the hospital. They done everything correct. They logged everything down. Only a couple, only 19. Everything down like that. And then all of a sudden, social services came in and wanted to remove the child, saying they'd abused the child. But when it turned out, what happened? Because in PCB Wales, lots of the girls there, the women, they're specialised in different areas, But one of the ones there, the vaccine expert, Kat, him who's a criminologist, and they discovered that it was a vaccine issue. It was a vaccine issue that was the problem with this, and yet they blamed them, thinking they'd abused them. Because they checked the records of what the mum was given vaccines as she was, when she was pregnant, and it checked out with the information that the child or the baby was given, that had passed through. So it worked out that it was the vaccine that was the problem, not what they'd done. And the fact of the matter is, they were so open, Geoff, the young couple, they're open and upfront.
Geoff, it was allegedly a vaccine. Which one? Would you mind do you know which one?
What,
which one was given to the mother?
Oh, I can't remember the actual which one
Okay.
it was now, but
Okay.
yeah, that's one of the angles they look at as well. But otherwise, they just, I mean,
There is
people.
quite a few cases of the they call the shaken syndrome,
Yes,
and
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
to
it's
me,
that.
when there is so many cases, it probably, in my eyes, probably is something that the children they grow up with. But the people in the hospitals, they are quite straightforward to say that was the parents.
Yeah, they are.
And
Yeah,
many parents they say they haven't done anything wrong, and the fact that there is so many parents saying exactly the same, you know, it makes me
yeah.
wonder if the people in the hospitals they really know what they are saying, and if they don't have the proof, isn't it?
I think the problem is as well that it's so corrupt that it's our push to think to try and find a decent social worker. Because my cousin's going through a lot at the moment because he's got three children, and the social worker's got involved, and they are taking they listen to what his ex partner was on about, saying different things about him, which is untrue because he's a fantastic father, but they've taken his children off at the moment, looking to be adopted as well, and this is up in the northeast where further up where I live. And he's just going through hell. He's got two boys and a young daughter.
When you refer a decent social worker, I disagree with you, because to me, if you are a social worker, then you are not a decent person. Because if you are a decent person, you don't work in the social services system, because you need to know. I'm sure that you know that there is child trafficking happening in there, and myself, I would rather clean toilets or work in McDonald's than being working in the social services, stealing children, because they see what they are doing. And I am aware that if a social worker writes something good about the family and say the children needs to go back to the families, they get rid of that person. So if you are still in the system making money with the children, then you are a nasty person.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And the thing about it is, because the families or the children get moved to a different adopted place, then a different one, then all of a sudden they're lost in the system. You won't be able to find them because they get moved around so often. And that's half the problem as well. So you're hard pushed to try and find out where they're going to be. So it's
I think, Geoff, with so many information that there is out there now, especially with TikTok, and there is lots of young people on TikTok, and now I've seen people that, what's going on with the children? Because I'm seeing more videos on TikTok, so many people, so many families saying that they have removed the babies without a reason. What's going on? So many people, they are wondering the reality. And this to say, I just lost my thought now. When people they say that they work as a foster carer, I have no respect for them.
No, that's right.
You know, you are part of the system. You are the ones part of the child trafficking. If you are not there getting money, they don't have a place to put all these children. So all of them, they are part of it.
Yeah. That's right, they are.
And they need to know what is happening. There is no way, I don't believe, that they do not know what's happening.
Yeah. I think maybe there's some genuine, and I do a night shift, and where I work there's a couple of people that do foster children, and they really don't look like they know that there's an issue. I mean, I haven't spoken to them about it because it's, if ever they were to say anything, then maybe I would.
They don't know, or they don't want even to know.
No, I don't think they do. I think genuinely, I don't think they do. I really don't, because they're really nice people. You know what I mean? And I work with them, closely. So I've known them for a long time.
Have you told them about it now?
I haven't said anything to them as such. You know what I mean? It's one of those tricky ones, isn't it? Really, if we got in a conversation, then I could explain it to them. But generally, I don't. They're probably few and far between people, because probably there's a lot that do know. But I'm sure there is some that like these that don't know and think maybe they're just getting a child because it's come from a broken home and that.
But let me tell you, Geoff, the money that they make as fostering, it's very good money, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's much easier to stay at home
Yeah.
and say to a child,
Yeah.
have a piece of bread, probably even without butter, because right, they can save that money for them.
Yeah.
And it's much easier to stay at home and foster those kids
Yeah.
than actually go out in the morning, get a bus, go to work, have to deal with colleagues at work, have to deal with a manager, have to deal with people. It's just much easier, isn't it, to stay at home and foster some kids?
Yeah, but I've got to be honest with you. A friend of mine, Alison Hocking, she was a foster care for 22 years, and she was at the child where I was supposed to be well. She was there, and she finished fostering, and it wasn't until afterwards that she found out all information about what was going on. She speaks out about it, so that's genuine. You know what I mean? She didn't know really what was going on until after she'd retired from that role. If you say retired, I don't know, and you don't really finish fostering children, but she didn't realise, and she feels awful for it. She speaks out. She spoke at the child awareness and broke down. She really is a lovely woman, you know what I mean, and it hurts her to think that what she has done, you know what I mean, but she was clueless to know in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know.
And what's her name? Would you like?
Alan Hocking.
Okay. All right.
Hocking. She'd probably be a good person to get on, actually.
Yeah.
If you,
Thank you.
yeah. So, I'll send you the name so you can. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
I'll draw a message.
Did you find that I think that what we have been through now on the latest years regarding the shutdown, stay at home thing, like quite a few people, they start question themselves about what the governments are about.
Yeah.
And all those dances inside the hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
And so many people dying, and they have time for a dance.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I think quite a few people, they woke up with those, and now they are more on the internet and they are checking these things. Is it just an ambulance now? So the social services, they are removing children. There is this sexualization, and there is the forced adoption, but there is more to it, isn't it? Like, why do they want to remove so many children? Apart from pedophilia, do you want to go through that? There is something harder, even darker.
Well, it is. It can go into the satanic side of things, satanic ritual abuse, where children are just harmed, raped, abused, tortured, murdered, for sexual pleasure. These people, they just harm the children. I mean, I don't know whether you've heard of Jeanette Archer.
Janelle Archer.
Archer, yeah, she's a former survivor, along with others that have faced, 4, 5, 6 year old, the abuse that she faced, where you just continually raped, abused, and until they passed out half the time. And she even spoke about at Christmas time where, because her family, her mum and that put her up, her birth mother, she calls it, because she doesn't really have anything to do with her, but put her up for this abuse which happened constantly, and she said in one of the times that she was abused on this old in these stately homes around the UK, and they're everywhere all around the world, but or Masonic Hall, or and she was continually abused and passed out. But she said there but in no uncertain terms, we wish she'd really died rather than waking up to be then abused again. So it really is shocking, because they could, I mean. And people won't believe what else they do, because and I'll say it on here, but people can take it away, but it is true. They eat children as well. It's all that, and they harvest their blood, the adrenochrome, because, you've seen all the celebrities, they even talk about it. There's adverts on it now. They try and put out, to make it, to normalise that's like a normal thing. But they just harvest the blood from the children. It's that fight and flight from the adrenal glands, where it's meant to make them youthful and look younger and that, and it's just absolutely frightening. I mean, you can go further. Under the Getty Museum, they've got there's lifts, escalators that's 2 miles down. There's about 6 massive basement floors, and it's just houses the most horrific horrific crimes known to man there. You know, the satanic ritual abuse there. You know, Stephen D. Kelly, who's in America, has been pushing this message out for quite a number of years, 15 years or so. But it's harrowing. But it links up to people's houses as well. Jared Leto, you know, Brad Pitt's house. It's just, yeah, I know it sounds shocking. I don't be talking so silly, but it's all out there. Hollywood, you know, it's all involved in this. And under there in America, it's just absolutely shocking. And under the Getty, it really is.
And they are not afraid to show it, and it's becoming more in front of everyone's eyes, isn't it?
That's right, it is. Yeah. Everything's out there because they show it all in films. They show it on your Bart Simpson, your Family Guy, you name it. It's all there. People just sit there thinking, oh, you know, but it's happening. I mean, you've only got to look at the music scene with the, you know, your Taylor Swifts and what have you, and Britney Spears and all that, and different ones. They're showing it on stage. It's like a ritual. Yeah. It's a satanic ritual right in front of your eyes. Your Beyonce's, you know, and it just absolutely is shocking. And people, whereas people are getting it, but people aren't getting it enough. You know, these things because they worship them, don't they? You know, they're idols, and that you should be worshiping what they call false gods, should you? Because they're just evil. Yeah. Once they're signed up to that way of life, that's it. They've been bought, and no wonder they make plenty of money from it because you know, children make money for people,
yeah.
Sadly.
The way I have learned about it, I was pregnant back then in 2015, and that's when the case of Hamstead Heath was on the internet. And those kids, they were saying the words, Papa kills babies. And they say that the father was actually the alleged, the highest person in the group doing those things. And those kids, they say that the teachers, they are involved, the parents of the children, they are involved, and the children, they have described in thousands of hours of the police questioning the doors, the hidden doors, the hidden corridors that they are in the schools, the marks near the sexual organs of the teachers and all of those things. And at the end, the children stayed with the father, and they are at the moment in America, and the mother has to be in hiding, otherwise she is in problems. And at the moment, I think if the people they can become more like aware as well. When there was now the Olympic Games, the beginning. I didn't see it on the TV, but I watched some videos on the social media, and what they do to the jokes that they do to regarding Jesus, the mocking that they are doing, they are really showing that they pray to evil, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they do indeed, and it is shocking because the whole LGBTQ movement, what people don't realise is the paedophile movement. That's how it was set up. I mean, if you've got people parading and scantily clad and go around schools teaching children, you know, it's all to normalise it, and it's also it's to soften men up as well. Because a lot of people have transitioned, you know, or at least, you know, want to dress up in women's clothes. Well, it's trying to soften it, to feminise men more. Because obviously, if you've got men standing up and wanting to fight, they don't want that, you see. So it's all that part of the movement as well. It's the whole thing, but it really is. The Ukraine flag is a paedophile flag. It really is. All the colours in it, and that people don't realise, you know. It's all coming. A lot of child trafficking went through Ukraine and that. And as well as everything else, the biolabs for the vaccines and stuff. But it really is, the LGBTQ movement is an absolute paedophile movement. And again, to try and normalise that if one day you want to change sex, it's okay, you know, but it's not. And the thing is, what people don't realise is, I've looked to do even more, is how we got to that point. And there was a man, as regards to the sexual explicit content and what was involved in all that, and obviously the LGBTQ movement, it's down to two people. The other things gone before, but one of them, Alfred Kinsey, I don't know whether you've heard of him, Alfred Kinsey, he was a professor, in the 1940s. He was pushing the sexualisation of children. He believed that children were sexual from birth. literally from sexual from birth. And he used to do. He wrote a book called Sexual Behaviour in Human Male, and he in that book. It's got various different graphs, like where he'd done experiments on children or babies as young as 2 months up to 15 years and recorded all the orgasms in the children. They'd poke, prod, stick things in them, and totally abuse the children and torture them. And any little whimper, moan, whatever, he would record it down. And they done it for 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 hours. And they even done one child, I think it was a 6-year-old or 4-year-old, for 24 hours, supposedly had 26 orgasms. Yeah, and this was the guy, and he got pushed into the public domain, into the public schools, because they followed that, you know. And on the flip side, John Money, where the LGBTQ movement came from, he believed in gender ideology. He believed that children or babies were gender neutral from birth, that the environment would dictate whether you wanted to be a boy or a girl. And you can see this. I don't really know much about him or not, but you do. Yeah, the Reimer twins. That he'd done experiments with both 8-month-old babies, and one they were going up for circumcision, but the machine was faulty and burnt one of the baby's genitalia off. Parents were distraught. They were only 18 years old. The young couple didn't know how to turn to. Saw John May, spoke to him. He said, "Yeah, no problem." And he transitioned one of them into a girl, which, you know, he got them to do simulate sex acts on each other and different things, because he was a paedophile as well. And it was just horrific what they went through. Eventually, the mum and dad, they told them exactly what went on, so they transitioned one of them back to a boy called David, which he spoke out on Oprah Winfrey. If people want to see that on the Reimer Twins, Oprah Winfrey, he was on there with his mum, who loved dearly, and he loved his dad dearly as well. But yeah, he spoke out quite a lot. But unfortunately, because the trauma was too much for the pair of them, his brother took an overdose, and he took a gun to his head and committed suicide that way. And again, that was put in the mainstream psychology, and this is where we get the problem today. You know,
Geoff, regarding homosexuals, what I usually say is 2 men, they cannot have children, and 2 women, they cannot have children. Now, unfortunately, the society believes that it's pretty for 2 men to have a baby and for 2 women to have a baby, and they believe through the movies that there is many children without parents, and that's not true. If a woman, my belief is that if a woman decided to carry on with a pregnancy for 9 months, then she would not give up on the baby later on. In America, there is that called open adoption, and all of that is always a lie. They are told that because you don't have money to provide for your baby, we are going to give support to your baby, to a family, to men, to women, whatever, and then you are able to see the child. That usually goes always wrong. They stop you from seeing your child. They are lying to them. And it's my belief that 2 men, if they have love to give, get a cat, get a dog.
I agree.
Don't get children, because that children, they either have a mother, a father, an auntie, a grandfather, a grandmother. They always have someone. And that story, that social services, they go and check the families, and the first priority is the families. That is a lie.
Yes, exactly.
That is a lie. My parents, they are alive. They wanted my son, and they were completely ignored.
Yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
You know, and now regarding what you were talking about, you know, even what's the name of the guy, the Tesla?
Tesla? What you on about? I can't think now.
Even him, he was.
The AI man, or you're about Tesla himself?
No, the guy, the owner of the Tesla. Even him, his son or his daughter, he went through that thing of the transition, and you know, it seems that the mother, you know, put that child into those things, and I think that the kid is quite adult now and rejects the father because the father is completely. Elon Musk, He came public saying that I think now I have a boy, but the guy has transitioned to be a girl, and the daughter came public saying, you know, I don't recognize my father, he's a nasty person, this and that and that. But
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
but you know, there is Angelina Jolie that had 3 children or whatever it was, and they did start the transitioning, and there is one of them that went back. There is another famous actresses that they have done exactly the same.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, it seems that they all have to go along with what they are being told to do, isn't it?
And a lot of them, they transition as well. If you look at Hollywood, a lot of them transition them when they're younger. You know, Sandra Bullock, you know, as a prime example there, because she was a man. You've even got to look at Lady Gaga as a man as well, and the list is endless. I mean, Barack Obama's wife, the man, Michael. I mean, you know, but at the end of the day, the thing is, they try and push out these 72 genders, which is absolute rubbish. There's only male and female, isn't there?
Yeah.
And like you were saying, you know, if you fancy a man, that's fine. If you fancy a woman, that's fine. If you're both same sex, that's fine. But then when you decide to want to have children, I think you've taken that right away because you haven't decided to have it with the opposite sex. You know what I mean? So I think that's wrong. I think for couples to do that. Really.
And in the Olympic Games, you cannot put women being punched by women when they are men, because the force that a man has is completely different, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, and that was not on the Olympic Games. That was quite and I don't know if you know that there was, for example, a Brazilian surfer that she had the face of Jesus on the thingy. I don't know how you say in English. And she was told that for you to compete, you cannot have the Jesus face in there.
Yeah.
You know, many people, they were being cancelled because they have the signs of Jesus, or because they say, you know, I pray to Jesus and he is the Lord. So, you know, and I'm sure that you have seen that portrait from King Charles.
Yes, I have seen it. Well, the one that's all red. Where yes, I have.
Is it not like...
It is. It's just all blood. Well, they've thought that it's made out of his own blood. You know what I mean? So... but yeah, it's just purely satanic in that sense, against the children. And
and when you're going through those things, you start to learn, like, there is a butterfly in the portrait, and usually that is mind control.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And then when they put the picture side to side and in the other way,
right. Baphomet, isn't it? Yeah, that's exactly. It's all there, isn't it? And for people looking on who just don't have a clue, it's because they're just so ignorant and I think there's a dividing line. Ones who got it, ones who didn't. You know, isn't it? Really, it's that simple. And the brainwash they've done on people was probably brilliant. But at the same time, not good for how things are now. I mean, more people are waking up who have had the jabs and that, even so, but people need to do more. People need to speak out. People need to get out on the streets and, you know, and show that, look, we're fighting for this, fighting for our children, fighting for humanity. Yeah. It really is, you know. I mean, for the children, for me, it's a no-brainer, because you got all the divide and conquer, the US things, you got the farmers, you got this, that, and the other. But my thing is, you know, they all affect the children. So why aren't people going, hang on a minute, let's fight for these groups that are supporting the children, because that's what's harming them, because everything evolves around the children, and that's what they should be doing, you know.
Yeah. You know about the Tate brothers?
The Tate brothers, yeah. Andrew Tate, yeah.
And I suppose, I think he was arrested again?
Yeah, again, you see, it's all, I don't know. A lot of them are controlled opposition, aren't they? So it's hard to know. Sometimes
he has said already, they will try to really hard to destroy me, my image. Otherwise, they will have to kill me to shut me down.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah. That's why I do what I do. That's why I do what I do. We're not afraid. We're just out there and we're exposing everything which is going on. I mean, a few years ago, there might not have been enough evidence, but now it's in bucket loads now. It's absolutely there. I mean, as regards vaccines, I've got documents on there from Pfizer which tells you what they've done in their trials and how many people died, and it's just harrowing, and yet they still allowed it to go ahead. I mean, Pfizer made $37 billion in 2021, which is incredible, man. So.
And they have tried to shut down the Rumble, the owner of the Rumble in France. So they have imprisoned him.
Yeah, that's right.
They have tried to. So what they wanted was the private information of the users of the Rumble and I'm not sure, the WhatsApp. And regarding the Rumble in Brazil, and Rumble decided, we're not giving any private information of the users, so we are just going to leave Brazil.
Yeah.
And in France, they imprisoned the guy because they were quite pissed off that he didn't do what they wanted. So, the younger ones, the younger people, they are more on TikTok, isn't it? They are not watching TV, so they are not under the control of the system. And then the people on TikTok, they can see all of us speaking. TikTok, you say that you are banned on TikTok. I suppose that when you get so higher in the level, then you are shut down. Isn't it? Kelly Jeffries had like 2 million of views when the police went to her house, and then they shut down her account.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, with me, I mean, I think it's what I talk about as well. You mentioned paedophilia, and they don't like it, so they just shut you down. I mean, I could open another one, but I can't soft soap things. You know what I mean? If platforms are going to be like that, so. But you do get good views on there. I must say, people do look in on on that. So, but yeah, we've even a few of our group back in Thetford where I live, we've formed our own council watch. Because we scrutinise the councils that we see, the ones that are meant to be doing good around the town, and then we've got our own one. We do a week later, scrutinise what's gone on, and we've had them walk out. We've had them, really out the stuff we spoke about. The children spoke about the fake climate change, spoke about so much, and they just simply do not want to know. They are really corrupt. One of them that was on the council, on the district council and Norfolk County Council. He's just become MP, taken over from Liz Truss, and he's corrupt as they come. His name is Terry Jeremy, but he's absolutely as corrupt as they come. So it just shows you, I mean, the corruption is right from the bottom up. It's just pure evil.
Social services, when they remove the children from the families, they threaten, if you dare to speak on social media, you're not going to see your children ever again. So they are threatened, they don't speak, they are afraid. After when they stay without children, they are so hurt. Some of them, they die. Some of them, they commit suicide. And other ones, they get addicted to drugs or other things because of the pain is unbearable. And what I've seen is that most of these people, they don't have no support from the family. The finger they are pointed to them, and the media, the TV, they are not allowed to speak about those cases. So how can we stop this? Because to me, if the parents, they don't speak, the society does not know, and nothing is happening.
Yeah, I think it's things like, I mean, because what we do, like I've got someone who's approached me about, she's having problems with her children, her ex-one, and she lost custody with them, and he's been abusing the young lad. He's got the daughter there still, and the lad's run away. And she's got a court case, and he's gone to court to try and get her back. And there's a court case on Monday, this Monday coming. And she's gone through several social workers. Again, they've all been useless. The police don't want to know. And hopefully she's got a decent one now, she's hoping. But again, it's that thing that he may get taken off her. And I think the thing is, things like that we can talk about at our outreaches, and it's important to probably still get that message out there, so people are well aware of what is going on. It may be difficult for them to speak out in case they get, like you say, shut down or no ball away or whatever. But for the likes of us, they can send stuff our way. We can speak about things like that for them on their behalf. Maybe not mention so much names so they get bothered, but express what is going on, because it really is just an awful awful situation for mums and dads that are going through this. Good families, you know. The ones that are abusing them, yeah, take them away from the parents that are really awful. But because there's so many decent families out there, they're just making it an excuse like they're all bad, and they're not. And it's just that money what they want. It really is. It's a money game, isn't it? But you know,
I know that in England is it's very bad, and the people they have no idea what's happening. In America is quite the same.
Yeah.
In Norway they really target the foreign. But
Yeah.
in England they target even English.
Yeah, they do.
And once they grow up in the system, they go after their kids as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But my idea is that the English women, they know what's happening, because sometimes there is subtle things on the soaps.
Yeah.
They know what's happening, but they prefer to turn on the other way, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a lot that still do that. They really are ignorant to what's going on and can't see it. I mean, it may be, I think, again, the jabs have messed up the head completely as well. You know what I mean? It's
cognitive
just
dissonance, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. You know, because there's never been any good the jabs. Even like we spoke about the sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS, and that, and all the different. You know, it was just a money maker for big pharma. That's all that is. And all the natural herbs and remedies and things you can do for your body now, which are brilliant, which they don't want us people to talk about, and they'll say it's false information or whatever on social media. It's because it's out there. People do not need that many drugs, if at all, because your body was designed to heal itself. And if you feed it right, look after it well, you can survive many different cancers, many different diseases before it even happens.
Yeah, but what makes money is the disease, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's the root of all evil, as they say, and it's correct, isn't it? You know, I mean,
people that have to take the power in their own hands and bring the children back. And I cannot have my child taken and be quiet about it. And that's why I made a circus in Portugal. I really wanted the Portuguese government to help me and rescue my son, but they haven't done nothing. Oh, actually, they did. They financed the movie to kind of defamate the work that I was doing.
Yeah.
So they financed the movie where the mother, a Portuguese woman, was leaving the children near the bin, and after went to a shop and robbed. So and after at the end the child went for adoption, and obviously that none of that is doing at my favor. Obviously, you know, I was working in a very nice places in you know, I had work in the Harley Street. My patients, they were very high. In a higher society, you know, and I'm very proud of my professional career that I was in it after they destroyed, obviously. And even when they saw my CV in court, because they did try to say that I was crazy.
Right.
And after, those were the words that they said in court. Oh, we saw her CV, we're not going in that way.
Yeah.
You know, so they were really trying every angle to say that Santiago was better to go for adoption. And at the end, the judge said there is nothing wrong against these parents, but the fact that they made the case public, they are at the risk of losing the child.
Yeah.
So I was punished for speaking. I was punished for exposing their crimes.
Yeah. I do feel for you. I really am sorry to hear that. But it's great that you're speaking out and not sitting back, and which is the way forward. The way forward for everybody to do, really.
Yeah, and I really need all the other mothers to come forward and to speak.
Yeah.
And there is groups of, like, there is, for example, a private group on Facebook, I think is called Forced Adoption.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, has thousands of mothers every day.
Yeah.
Every day there is a new case in there saying they have taken my child, and and they use the mothers. They know how to do the things, and People,
Yeah,
they
they
need
do.
to lose the fear and to speak. Even today, there is a mother, I don't know if you are aware of her, a mother that I have interviewed her in here. Her name is Leanne Leborn. And
Right.
between 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, she's going to see her son, and she has to say goodbye. He's 18 months, and he's going for adoption. And that's the goodbye arrangement. You know, that's That's a horrible thing. You know, I have not been through that. They even not allow me to say goodbye to Santiago, and I cannot even imagine the state of this mother, because I think I would just go with a knife and I would just.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. It's just awful, isn't it? It just really is. It's heartbreaking. Every story is heartbreaking every time, and you'll hear one and hear another one, and you just feel that same way. You know what I mean? It's heartbreaking. It really is.
And you see that they are all the same.
Yeah.
The way they do the things, they are all the same, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Geoff, thank you so much for being in here. We have done, I believe, about 1 hour already. Would you like to say anything for last? Like, if people they want to join in your movement, or actually leave your email, please, because if people want to reach you, they can do. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I say, Save Our Children's Army, it's an outreach and a march where we speak out about what's going on and all walks of life about the children. We meet, we have these in London. We do them in London because London's a vast. I know people say, "Oh, why don't you do them here, doing that?" We do them on local level, but in London, because there's so many people that come through that live there. Tourists, you know, which message should be spread all around the world. So that's why we do it. And we meet the last Saturday in the month. We've got one tomorrow, which is August 31st at 12 p.m. meeting at London Victoria. And we do several posts. I mean, I'll probably put a post out today about tomorrow as well, again, each week to advertise it. You know, people are welcome. They can turn up with boards, some leaflets. They got, we got some. Or if they want to speak out, they can. Yeah. If they're a bit nervous about speaking out on the mics, then just do a little bit to get themselves more confident. But then everybody is welcome to say their bits. You know, the more people speak out, the better. We had, like I say, the one in July was quite a lot of people to speak out on that day, so it was very good. Yeah. And they can catch me on Facebook. There's a Save Our Children's Army page on Facebook as well. They can catch me on there, Geoff Mealing. We are on Telegram as well, Save Our Children's Army. I'm on Twitter as well. And I'm looking to some friend or someone I know is going to get a website built up, so we'll have that up and running. So, but yeah.
And people that they don't want to go on the process, but they are happy to provide some help for you guys to support the cause. Can they do that? There's any other way that they can help?
They can either just turn up if they don't do anything, or they can share our posts, share our information, just put it on a share, even if they can't make it, they may be too far away or whatever reason, they don't feel right, whatever it is, but they just share our posts,
And probably, are you going to open something like for the nation, so people they can support, like with petrol to go here and to go there for the protests or something like that?
Yeah, they can do all sorts there like that if they want to. Yeah, that's fine. But even like say, even if they just want to turn up and be a number there, that's great. They don't have to speak. Even if they don't want to interact too much with the public, that's fine. But numbers are great if we get more people there. But either way, we'll be there, whatever the numbers are, because it's what we do.
Yeah. I know that the protests, that's the way to go. But what I remember from the protests is the people, they look at the things that you have written and they look down, they look ashamed, and they cannot see you, they cannot watch you in your eyes, they cannot see your pain because they know that you are speaking the truth.
Yeah, that's right. And I think some people think, these outreaches are a waste of time. They're never a waste of time because the message getting out there to the people social media is still there, even if there's old bands here and there, but it's still there, and we can still get that message. We always say, even if it's just one person that's got that message, you'll then talk to someone else, and it builds. So they're never a waste of time. These aren't controlled. We don't garner any money from anyone. We just do them off our own back, and that's the way we are, because we care about the children. We care about humanity. At the end of the day, our children are our future, and we really need to save them, and really for what they're going through constantly, daily, hourly, because it's truly horrific. And your story, horrific. No one should be going through what you're going through and others are going through. It's just awful.
Yes.
Awful.
But I know, Geoff, that I know who I am. I know that I have made a difference in Portugal and to quite a few women in England. And I know that my son is special. I know, for example, Santiago was not a common name in Portugal, and I was picking up in 2016, and Santiago was the name more used for baby boys in Portugal in 2016, and since then became a common name. And now you go on the streets and you hear Santiago, and to me it hurts because people, they have not got together for me in such a way that I got the support that I needed, but I know that people, they hurt me.
Yeah.
So I know that I have done the damage to the social service in here.
Yeah, and if I talk to you, I can see how a wonderful mum you are, a wonderful person you are.
Thank you.
I can go on to that feel about some people, you know what I mean? And you just seem lovely and warm and just,
Thank you. And congratulations to you, Geoff, because you haven't been through this situation, but you are empathic with the parents, and you are not just sit down watching football and, having a laugh with your friends on the weekend. You are actually doing something, for your grandchildren, for the other children. They're not even yours, but that says a lot about you. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
You are on the protest. There was quite a few people that have been in here. Marie, Keegan, and
Marie. He comes off. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So,
she's been through it as well, hasn't she? Yeah. So.
Thank you so much for that. And just do you have any email that you would like to share if people want to reach you?
I mean, they can have my email. Yeah, I can. I'll say it here. Yeah. My email is, I'll have to spell it out. It's which is O8YEAH. .gsm@gmail.com.
Okay, all right.
The reason I say on it is because whenever you speak to someone, people go, oh yeah. So I just use that from that. So that's why I do it that way.
That's great. Geoff, thank you so much, and we'll keep in touch. And if you would like to share anything else in another time, just let me know, and I'm happy to bring you in here. Okay?
Yeah. And as soon as you put this out, I'll share it far and wide. So yeah. But thank you very much for inviting me on.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, and all the best for you.
Yeah, and to you. Thank you.
Thank you. And everyone, now I hope you stayed until here. If you did, congratulations. Thank you for watching this. If you haven't subscribed this channel, please do. It is to support other families, is to bring our children home. We need to make the change. We need to save our children. It's not just your problem. It's not just my problem. It's our problem. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.